couple books this year, and I am ready to change that. So I thought, what better way to do that than to challenge myself to read for 24 hours in a concentrated period of time. Not 24 hours straight. Unfortunately, I do not have ball like that, but I do think people sometimes will do reading 24 hours out of a 48-hour, 72-hour period. I'm going to try to do it in a 72-hour period. Basically a 9 to 5 of reading for 3 days. So, yes, I have 2 main reads that I'm trying to get through. One of them is a book I'm reading as research for a new novel that I'm going to start writing soon. So look out for that writing vlog. Hopefully that will be coming soon. And that is Where Are Your Boys Tonight by Chris Payne. The Oral History of Emo's Mainstream Explosion, 1999 to 2008. So I'm a little bit of the ways into it, but I really want to finish this before I start working on the first draft of my novel, which will be shortly. The other main one I want to get through is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. I've heard so many people talk about this series, so I was like, I guess I should probably give it a try, and my library finally got it in. They don't really get very many fantasy titles, but they did get this one, so I did start reading this one also. I am 84 pages into it, and I have to say, it's kind of poorly written, but it's like very much written for readability, so that's a craft in and of itself. So it's fun, but I do kind of feel like it potentially would work better as like a movie than a book, but I don't know, it's still fun, so I want to try and get these 2 done, and I'm sure in 24 hours of reading I should be able to get these 2 books done. Whenever I finish those 2, I also have a book that I pre-ordered last year for its release, and I still haven't read yet. I read like the first chapter or 2, but I just haven't really been reading. But that is Local Heavens by K.M. Fajardo. Chris MF on YouTube. I love her writer-author 2 videos. I've been following her for a while. In case I get too bored and sluggish, I've also pulled out 2 books that I have read before to reread if I get too bored. Blue Lily Lily Blue from the Raven Cycle Quartet. I freaking love those books. I've read the first 2 a gazillion times, 3 or 4 times each, but I've only read book 3 and 4 once. So I want to reread this one. And my other reread option is The Penultimate Peril, which is the 12th book in a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. Do not get me freaking started on Lemony Snicket / a series of unfortunate events. I have wanted to make videos about it so much, and I probably will at some point. So I read the series when I was younger, and I've been rereading the books over the last couple of years very slow, and so now I'm at The Penultimate Peril. Those are some other ones that I might end up reading, but my main ones are Where Are Your Boys Tonight and Dungeon Crawler Carl. Okay guys, update. It has been an hour and I am on page 124. Yeah, part of why I never read anymore is because I think I have like attention deficit issues. To be fair, there are literally squirrels, so how can I not go squirrel? So that was what, like 40 pages, so that's where I'm at 1 hour in. I think I'm gonna try to see if I can find this on audiobook, either on Libby or on Spotify, so I can go like wash dishes and multitask. And if not, then I might read for another hour. Update, by the way, it is not available on Spotify or Libby. Duh. Obviously it would not be available on Libby for me to just be like, let me just see, is it like available now? It said a 26-week wait, so not really what I'm looking for. And that wasn't even for the audiobook. It didn't even have the audiobook where I am. It just has the ebook, which does not work for me. My P's are on high. I'm going to eat and then I guess just read acoustically. Even though I just want to go play The Sims 4, if I'm honest. Okay guys, update. I just ate and watched 10 minutes of Broad City. I'm on season 2, episode 5. Anyway, but I can't be doing that because I have to read. Sorry I sound sick, it's because I am. Well, allergies. Anyway, I am that far, and we'll see how much further I can get after another hour. Okay guys, update. I fell asleep after 15 minutes, and now it is almost 4:15, meaning I have to read every minute of the rest of this day until midnight if I want to have completed 8 hours of reading today, I think. Okay guys, update. It has been 3 hours, I believe, and I am on page 202. I think I'm averaging I don't know, what is that, 40 pages an hour? Not very good, but I am a slow reader. I'm not halfway yet, but I'm approaching halfway. If I manage to maintain my goal of reading through to midnight, then I think I should be able to finish this book. Maybe. I'm enjoying it as it is. This last hour, it was a lot easier to just keep reading. I feel like the first 2 hours, my attention was coming and going. But with this last third hour, actually, as I was wrapping up the second hour, I was like, okay, I am more locked in. Alright guys, it's not been a whole hour yet, but I hit the halfway mark of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I have some other things that I really need to get done before the end of the day, so I'm going to put on an audiobook. It's going to be different from any of the books I mentioned previously. I'm thinking possibly Raising Hair, which is one I listened to a third of a few months ago and just never finished, but I'm going to see if there are any other audiobooks that I have started and not finished, and then I'm going to put that on while I do dishes and make food and stuff like that. I'm sorry it's so horrifically lit, but it is 8 o'clock, which means I believe I finished my 5th hour of reading. So I've been listening to Rebecca on audiobook, and this is a book that I started reading, I think, back in the fall, but then I kind of put it aside for a little while, as I do, unfortunately. But I have been wanting to finish it for a really long time. I've read or listened, whatever, up through 50-something% of it now. I'm in the middle of the 3rd chapter that I've listened to today, and I have some chicken parmesan in the oven, except I did not follow a recipe. I followed my heart, so we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I think I'm going to listen to the audiobook a little bit more, eat dinner, and then maybe retreat to my chambers and read this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it tonight, unless I lock in and really get zoned in, enter a flow state. Morning, guys. I believe I read the whole 8 hours yesterday. I'm hoping. I think my initial calculations were a little bit wrong, so I think I was done reading at 11. I unfortunately did not finish Dungeon Crawler Carl yesterday since I pivoted and decided to read an audiobook. I have been meaning to finish Rebecca for so long. I'll be doing something, and then I stop thinking about it.
and then I don't think about it again for months and months and months and months, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that was the thing that I was doing. I should probably do that again. And then I stop thinking about it, and then there's months and months and months and months, etc. So I do have a physical copy of Rebecca, and while I've been listening to it sometimes, I have read some of it along with it. So right now I'm at 75% way into the story. I was planning on just listening to the audiobook while I was doing dinner, which took way more many hours than I was expecting. But then I was going to spend the last couple of hours before I went to bed reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. But I had just gotten to a point in this book where I was like, gotta keep reading this. Like, I can't stop. So I think I was at like 40 something percent when I started listening to it yesterday, and then I ended at 75%. So the plan for today, I'm gonna be reading 8 hours. 8 hours is like so many hours to be reading, but this is a reading challenge, so I'm gonna do my best. I did the first day, which proves to me that I can do it. And if I get an earlier start, that would be better, because I started yesterday at like 1 or 2, and then I slept for an hour, and then it threw the whole thing off. So I pretty much had to read for the rest of the day. But it is almost 8 in the morning now, so I'm gonna get an earlier start. I anticipate, hopefully, I'm going to finish Dungeon Crawler Carl today. Like I said, I got to the halfway point. If I finish that today, I don't know exactly what I'm going to move on to next. I've kind of been wanting to read one of my little fun rereads, either Blue Lily Lily Blue or The Penultimate Peril, because I'm always thinking about a series of unfortunate events. Sometimes I get reels about it and it like sets me off, because we'll save that for another video. I'm going to focus on Dungeon Crawler Carl. My main objectives for this video, I wanted to finish that one, and I wanted to finish Where Are Your Boys Tonight? So I should probably start on that one as soon as I finish Dungeon Crawler Carl, but we're gonna see. And I also have been meaning to finish reading Local Heavens since October. So I am presently on page 268. I do think I'm averaging about 40 pages an hour, which is not much. I think I've heard like a more standard is about a page a minute, so 60 pages in an hour. I've definitely also heard people talking about they can read 100 pages in an hour. Not me. I don't think you can tell, but I'm more than halfway, not 2/3. So I think I'm probably gonna like read for 2 hours, spend an hour doing something else, read for 2 hours, spend an hour doing something else, even though I have to like check the math on that. I'm not exactly sure. Alrighty, 2 hours in for the day. I'm on page 308 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, which means I've read exactly 40 pages in the last hour. I think I'm gonna take a wee break. I am getting hangry, and I have some things I should probably get done. I have just finished hour 4 today, which means hour 12 across the whole challenge, which means halfway through my 24 hours, and I still haven't finished a book. But I'm on page 375 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. That is how far I am. I'm in very obviously the last quarter. I was thinking of pivoting and listening to an audiobook so I could go get some other chores done, but I kind of want to just keep reading. What else? Well, I'm going to finish this today. I just don't know if I'm going to finish it in the next 2 hours of reading, or if I should listen to an audiobook and then come back to this. I feel like the pace of this book has actually slowed down in the second half, which is not exactly what I was expecting to happen. Where I'm at right now is starting to pick back up, or at least it's in a part. I'm in the middle of a chapter. It's just my timer went off, so I was like, stop and update. But the part where I'm in the chapter, I'm like, I want to know what happens next.
say the final page doesn't really feel like a final page. It feels like it cut off in the middle of like what it was saying. I mean, the sentence ended, but I don't know. It did. I was like, am I missing something? I'm like flipping the next page. I'm like, I mean, okay. I think it's very much the books in this series pick up like right after one, right after the other, like the Evil Dead movies. I enjoyed it. It was complete and total fluff, though, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, well, not fluff, because it's like to reference the bag, body, gory, etc. Sometimes it had moments where it seemed like it was trying to communicate a little bit more heart, and it just seemed a little like, okay, I guess. Like, you'd be like, if only my father could see me now. Like, so there were references of that, and it's like supposed to give some depth, but it's just not really a story with any level of depth. But I think that's okay, because actually, from what I understand, this was published in 2020. There's merit to things that are strictly entertainment or fluff, because it provides escapism. It was good fun. I don't know if I'm gonna read the whole series or not. I don't know. I'll just have to see. That's how far into Rebecca I am. But you see how little is left. I have 2 hours left of the audiobook. I actually have 1 hour left of reading to do today if I want to stay on track. I don't want to push it off until tomorrow. So it is 10:43 p.m. and I want to go to bed, but I'm going to try to get in another hour of reading. I was thinking of Rebecca, but maybe I will pivot. I was thinking of reading Blue Lily, Lily Blue, but I know I'm going to want to tab and annotate that heavily, which I've done for the first 2 books in the series, because I listened to the series on audiobook first, and then I'm reading them physically now. So I think I'm not going to do that one, but I might read a little bit. I might read The Penultimate Peril, but I have to go downstairs and go get it. Alrighty, guys. Let me be honest with you. I have not been having the best day. It is 1:30 p.m. and I have listened to Rebecca for an hour. That is all the reading I've done today. So I have 1 hour left of the audiobook. I'm probably going to read The Penultimate Peril for a while. I did have every intention of reading Where Are Your Boys tonight. Well, I assumed I was going to be reading a little bit faster than I have been. I was hoping to finish that one in this challenge. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or even if I want to. I will be honest, I'm getting a little bit tired of reading. I'm just going to indulge the things I really would like to read that bring me comfort, such as a series of unfortunate events. Oh, I am really, though, Rebecca, freaking crazy. I have like 2 chapters left. Good stuff, bro. I will update you when I finish it. I'm not going to get into all the things that have been frustrating me, but it's been a frustrating day. One of the main things being I have to go. Hi guys. It is 5:52 p.m. 6 o'clock. Basically, I listened to the rest of the audiobook, the 2 hours left, and that's it. So if I wanted to read 8 hours today, I literally, truly, this time, correct math, all I could do until midnight is read. Or I could like push it into like 1 or 2 in the morning. Apparently, I am weak because this has been wreaking havoc on me. To be fair, it's not just the reading challenge, it's like life. So I finally finished Rebecca. I liked it. It was good. Something that I do sometimes is I set my expectations too high, and then when it isn't what I'm thinking, then I'm like, oh, then I get disappointed. Not to say I was disappointed. I was not disappointed. I was just like,
I felt like I kept waiting for like an ultra mega big freaking twist in the end. But it was good. The gothic novels of all gothic novels. The unsurpassed modern masterpiece of romantic suspense. Let's go. It's actually this book single-handedly that made me be like, okay, I see why some people might like romance. Like, I'm literally swooning. Of course, that was in the beginning. I'm going to go read The Penultimate Peril and turn my brain off, but turn my brain on, because I love those books and I obsess over them in a way that I don't think anyone has before. I haven't read The Penultimate or Peril and the End since I was like 12. Now I'm an old hag. I'm 22, so it's been a decade, and so I don't really remember what happened. So it's like, this is fun. Yes, I love middle grade books. This is also another thing about, I don't know, engaging with bookish content online. I've always struggled with it because I feel like my tastes are so different than everyone else's, and I don't mean that I'm not like, oh, I'm not like, well, like, it's frustrating to me. It's so irritating. I wish I loved contemporary romance. I wish I was about romantasy, not like whatever random classic I want to pick up, some random fantasy thing, so much middle grade and YA and da 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 da. There's like no rhyme or reason. I don't even know. And I think that's part of why I struggled with reading so long, is because I don't even know what I really like. So it's hard to find a niche if you don't know what the niche is. So I've got to figure that out. Well, I know one of my freaking niche interests is a series of unfortunate events. But girl, move on. You're literally an adult. But I love those books so much. And I do like adult books. Some of my most favorite books that I've read in most recent years, I loved Rouge by Mona Awad, The Stepford Wives by Ira Levin, Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. These are all books that I love. But then I don't want anything like too disturbing. I don't know, man. I'll probably try and read a little bit of Local Heavens tonight, this evening, today, the remaining hours between 6 and 12. We're gonna see if I quit. Today it's been like, I quit, no, I gotta lock in, I quit, no, I gotta lock in. So I'm gonna try to lock in, but I might still quit. It didn't help that I like was slammed with this wretched feeling of sickness in the middle of the afternoon. I was like, I had to collapse on the couch and nap because it was pretty grisly. All I want to do is play The Sims and watch the rest of Harry Potter and sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. Okay, guys, I'm a dingus. I apologize for the lighting. It's crazy, I know. I'm a dingus because I just recorded a clip, but I actually didn't record the clip because I didn't press record. But anyway, so I just finished my 4th hour of reading today, my 2nd hour of reading The Penultimate Peril, which officially makes it 20 hours across the challenge so far. But right now, I'm that far. And I have to say, I am enjoying this way more than Dungeon Crawler Carl. Don't get me wrong, I liked Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I love A Series of Unfortunate Events. I have 4 more hours, potentially, of reading. We'll see. Alrighty, friends, I am not putting that blinding light back on in my eyeballs, so you're just gonna have to suffer this lighting. I have finished The Penultimate Peril. 5 stars. Probably like 4.5 stars, but I'm gonna say 5 stars. Just, I have an hour and 15 minutes left on the clock. I'm getting pretty dang close, you guys. The end is in sight, and I'm ready for it to be over, if I'm honest. But anyway, I know I said at the beginning of this video I was definitely gonna finish Dungeon Crawler Carl and Where Are Your Boys Tonight. I have not read any of Where Are Your Boys Tonight since starting this video. Just for context, I read 88 pages of it prior. I think actually what I'm gonna do, you can't see because of the beautiful, this cover is so cool. But anyway, I'm sorry about the light reflecting off of it, but I think I'm going to start reading this. I actually have read the first chapter or two, but it's been so long, so I'm going to start it again from the beginning, and then I think I'm going to read this until midnight when I go to sleep, and then I'm going to save this for tomorrow, I guess, when this is over, and I can read it at a more normal pace. I've been wanting to have like a fiction book and a nonfiction book on hand generally, where Your Boy Tonight is going to be my nonfiction, and I'll let this finally be my fiction. I was thinking maybe I should just like jump into rereading the end because I have like no recollection of that book. Well, I know a couple of things, but I think you can wait. I think I'm going to focus on one of these. I actually really do need to read this because I'm reading it kind of as research for a novel I'm going to be writing, Project Rockstar. I'll update you later, maybe. I figure I must be looking exceptionally horrendous by now. It is 12:01. I am 42 pages into the book, not too far at all, but maintaining that 40 pages an hour pace, and I'm like kind of aghast because I know that is so low. No wonder I struggle with reading so much, because I struggle with getting through books because it takes me 5,000 years to read a book. But in the course of this video, I guess I finished 3 books. One of those I started and finished. The other 2, I was less than 50% of the way through. One of them I was about 40%. The other one I was like 20% maybe. And I did not finish the book that I said I was going to finish, but that is okay. That is okay. I can't believe that I finished 3. I think I was 3 books behind on my Goodreads reading challenge, so now I guess I'm just back on track, not ahead. But I am going to keep reading Local Heavens in the upcoming days and weeks, however long it takes me. And I will also be reading Where Are Your Boys Tonight, which I didn't get to in this video, but I will in upcoming videos as I start working on my new writing project, hopefully. I am so tired. Thank you guys so much for watching. This low-key has been a treacherous experience, but that's okay. We persevere, and I can't imagine somebody doing this for 24 hours or into 12-hour days. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.